Hey everyone, Chris's Coalition Gaming here, back with another episode of Hardware Hospital. That's where I repair computers instead of doing any builds or any product reviews or anything like that. And today we're going to be trying to repair a DC jack pin on a Samsung Chronos laptop. Let's get to it. Looks like a pretty simple part to replace, but what we actually have to do is disassemble the laptop completely, at least to get to the DC jack pin, desolder the broken one, and then solder the new one on, and then reassemble it and test. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Yeah. So we have the Chronos laptop right here, the DC jack pin right here, and I got to get all the screws out. I actually don't know the specific way to disassemble this, but I've done this plenty of times on other laptops and sort of crash course myself through it. If I need help, I'll look it up though, but it's relatively straightforward on most laptops. Remove all the screws from the bottom, pry the palm rest from the top, and open it up, and you're there pretty much. So guess we'll see. So I got all the screws off from the bottom of the laptop, so it's time to see. Sometimes there's screws under these, but I decided to just pull up on it a little bit to see, and because it pulls up, it looks like there are no more screws under the feet, so let's continue pulling up. This is always a scary part, because everything sounds like it's breaking when you're doing this. There we go! Access to the bottom. Oh yeah, thermal paste. We'll need to clean that and redo some thermal paste for you. So when it comes to laptop repair, a big thing with laptops is ribbon cables, and the way they're held in is with these little hinged connectors. So the ribbon cable slides in, and then you flatten the hinge down and it locks it in place. This one seems to have a lot more of them. So I got a hinge there, or sorry, a ribbon cable connector there, here, and then the way that this connects is just slotted in there for the power from the battery. And I think we may be ready to pull it up, but I'm not quite there yet. Still double checking everything. So I have everything unplugged, all the ribbons from the motherboard, and there it is here. I need to unsolder those 4 points, get the new one on there, and then we'll be testing it out. The problem here is that the tabs are really hard to get off without the proper equipment, and I have the basics of the basics here to get this off, so I need to get this clipped off so I can work with it a little easier.
Oh my God, don't burn me.
Getting this thing unsoldered without solder wick or any other special tools and all that was kind of a pain, but we got it. So hopefully everything survived okay, and it's time to get the next one on, which as you can see does have an issue with this part lining up, but I think that's just a support piece. Everything else seems to line up, so we're going to go ahead and solder the back on and just see what we can get. It was a bit of a hassle getting the DC jack pin soldered back on, mostly because the pad that for the solder to hold on to got yanked out, unfortunately, on the original, so the solder wouldn't stick to anything on there. So trying to get the solder to stick may have affected the board negatively. But what I ended up doing was running a wire, thanks to the suggestions from the stream that we're doing, because we're doing this live. I ran a wire through, so I tinned a wire with solder, ran it through hopefully to connect both ends to the pad that's on the other side and the contact on the DC jack pin, and then soldered it all up, and hopefully that will take care of that. It's back on there, as you can see. This is just a support, but it didn't line up, but I think everything will be okay. So doesn't look the prettiest. We're hoping for the best. So all that's left now is to reapply thermal paste to the things that need it. I believe this is the CPU and this is either the North Bridge or the GPU. Reapply thermal paste, put it back in the case. That is a GPU. Put it back in the case and then put all the screws back in, put everything back together, and then test it out. Okay, so motherboard is back in, everything's connected. Let's put the panel on. I don't need to screw this down yet, but I do need to have it on there so it doesn't short anything. Time to test. Moment of truth coming. I see a light. There is a power light. Okay, let's push the button. It worked! It freaking worked! Hell yeah! I shouldn't be so happy about it. I should be like, yeah, it worked. I'm just that good. No, I was legitimately a little bit worried, but hell yeah, it works. Well, it was a little shaky going there, but the solder job worked out. Maybe wasn't the prettiest, but in the end, it all worked. As you can see, it's powered up behind me. Has an i7-26, I think 75 QM. Yeah, nice quad core, 8-thread laptop, Sandy Bridge CPU, 8 gigs of RAM. I think this is going to be plenty good for sort of thinner, lighter on the go laptop, and that was its original purpose until it had its issue. So DC jack pin replacement successful. Doesn't quite want to boot to the OS, probably something with the previous issue that it had related to power. Borked the OS, you know, it happens. We're going to reinstall Windows, call this thing good to go, and yeah, so that was this episode of Hardware Hospital. This repair was a lengthy one. That was just about three and a half hours worth of work, but it's going to be worth it. So if you guys like this video, click that like button, click that subscribe button. We always got more coming. Stay tuned, watch our streams every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on YouTube and Twitch. And yeah, we have a merch store as well. Any support there, buying some stuff, get you some cool swag as well. It helps support us keep going with stuff like this. Yeah, we always got more coming. Stay tuned. Bye.